Fernando, el Mario, ¿por qué? Perfecto.
Steve's mom.
I'm Estelle Weinstein.
I'm Emily Bachman.
I'm Lucretia Melendez.
No, you're not.
And I'm Gloria Jenkins, and this is 60 Minutes.
Probability is defined as the ratio of the number of outcomes that are most likely to occur. We experience probability every day, like if it's going to rain or if you will hit every red light on your way to work. What if you were to use probability to increase your chances in winning a game? Could you use the methods of probability to win a game at a carnival? We interviewed Alyssa, a high school student, on the balloon dart game to see how her winnings were so successful.
Well, she comes here every day, and I don't know how she does it. She just wins.
I took it upon myself to meet with Alyssa and see exactly what her secret was. So, were your winnings just out of luck, or is there some sort of strategy behind it?
There's a little bit of strategy.
Okay, but like what?
I use probability.
I met up with Gina Bobina, the creator of the carnival game, to see if she could tell me a little bit more about the game.
Well, in the game, there are 9 balloons, and you have to hit the balloon, and whichever balloon you hit, you receive that amount of money. You have to pay $5 to initially play the game, and 1 balloon is worth $100, 3 balloons are worth $50, and the rest of the balloons are worth nothing. So, and they are randomly arranged after each play. Alyssa won $250. She had to play 27 times.
So how did you know that you could use probability in a game like this?
Well, everyone has a chance of winning something, so it all depends on whether you can figure it out and you know how to use probability.
And did you know that you could win $500 playing this simple dart game?
Well, as you said, it's a simple game, so if you know how to use probability, then of course you can win big money.
Well, I spoke to Gina Bobina, the creator of the game, and she told me many people have the same chance as you did, and no one else is winning this amount of money.
Well, no one is as brilliant as I. Ha ha, no, anyone can use the method, they just haven't before.
I met up with Dr. Donald Mathematic, who told me about the inner workings of the game.
I believe Alyssa just multiplied each possible value by the probability that it occurs and found the sum. I calculated the expected number of times she'd have to play to win $250, and it came out to be 27 times.
Well, I don't know how she did it.
I don't know either, but this is a good game. I love playing it. Apparently she loves playing it. She won a lot of money. It's good stuff.
On the carnival.
Game maker.
No matter what you eat for lunch, a healthy breakfast is essential for a well-balanced diet. For those who do eat breakfast, watch out for these enticing, colorful graphics found all over the shelves. Nowadays, just because a cereal box may look appealing, does not necessarily mean its nutritional facts are as attractive. Researchers Dr. Colleen Crunch and Professor Barbara Brand have been looking into this issue of sugar content in relation to calories regarding many popular American cereals. Fortunately, my colleague Emily Beckman was able to sit down with both of them for an exclusive interview.
So tell me about your studies on this important issue.
We began by recording the facts on 77 breakfast cereals, specifically the calories and sugar content of one serving. We then went on to try to build a linear model with the gathered data.
Can you tell me about your process exactly?
Absolutely. We have 2 quantitative variables measured on 77 different breakfast cereals. We have X representing the sugar content and Y representing the calories.
Interesting. Can you explain the process exactly?
As you can see from this scatter plot, the direction of the relationship is positive and the form of the association is straight enough. There are no obvious outliers in the data. First we started off with our correlation, which was 0.564. And then we used B1 equals the standard deviation of Y over the standard deviation of X to come up with a slope of 2.50 calories per grams of sugar.
So using the B sub 0 equation, we were able to find the intercept, which was 89.5 calories. Using the 2 pieces of information, both the slope and the intercept, we were able to form the least squares line.
Then, from that, we were able to find our R2 value, which ended up being 0.318 or 31.8%.
What this R-squared value means is that 31.8% of the variability in calories is accounted for by variation in sugar content.
I hope this segment spreads awareness regarding American nutritional choices. Even if you are one of those people who choose to eat breakfast, remember that not all breakfast choices are as they advertise. Don't be fooled. Thank you very much.
Frederick's fleet cry of "iceberg right ahead" signaled the beginning of a nightmare that has become legendary. The Titanic started going down at 11:40 p.m. on the night of April 14, 1912. By 2:15 a.m., the Titanic was underwater, leaving over 1,500 passengers and crew on board to meet their icy fate. Kirsten Conley got the inside scoop on what exactly happened that night. She met with the final living survivor, Kirsten Capone, earlier this week.
Thank you, Kristen, for being on our show. It must be hard for you to relive such a traumatic event in your life.
Well, I'm lucky to have lived such a life.
What was your time on the Titanic like before the ship had gone down?
Well, I was traveling as a third-class passenger, so I was far from the luxury, but it was still a lovely trip. My parents had saved their entire life in order to make our journey to America to have a better life.
As a third-class passenger, you're lucky you survived. From the data shown here, we are able to determine that Capone was one of the lucky 178 third-class passengers who survived that evening. A whopping 528 third-class passengers unfortunately drowned that night. If you were lucky enough to be a first-class passenger, your chances of survival would have been great. 202 were survivors and only 123 died, making that the lowest number in all of the class's rankings. The highest number of deceased didn't go to passengers, but rather the crew members. 673 crew members perished that night. It would make sense for them to have the highest number since crew members were the last to be saved. A surprising statistic we noticed was that crew members also had the highest number of survivors at 212 people. How can this happen? Well, the crew had the most people in their class compared to the 3 social classes. So, Kristen, do you regret getting on board?
I do not regret getting on the ship because I was one of the lucky who survived. I'm glad to be a part of such a historic moment in time. I get to share my story with the rest of the world.
Thank you for sharing your story.
What an inspiring story. Fortunately, Kirsten Capone died earlier this morning due to old age in the comfort of her home, which leaves no more living survivors of this terrible tragedy.
Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato. Why not both?
Well, that's exactly what the researchers at the Ginkgo biloba Research Center found out. In a surprising turn of events, the scientists were able to create a new plant, a pomato. However, the plant was neither juicy nor tasty. It was up to the researchers to find a fertilizer that yielded only the best tomatoes. Naturally, I, Gloria Jenkins, grabbed my camera crew and hit the scene. I met up with the creators of the pomato, Dr. Janice Finkelstein and Dr. Wilhelmina von Lopestein, to talk about their creation. What they told me was quite interesting. So how did you create this?
All I wanted was a tomato that doubled as a potato. Dr. von Lopestein was like, we can do this.
We got more than we ever imagined. We worked in the lab day and night. One morning we woke up and the tomato was there. Naturally, we decided to eat it. We were throwing up for weeks.
It was neither juicy nor tasty.
The scientists decided to enlist the help of fertilizer enthusiast Frederica Huffelberg. Frederica, at age 47, lives alone and has way too much money and time to spend on this project.
So tell me a little bit about what you did.
Well, when I tried my first potato plant, it didn't taste right to me. So, as a manure enthusiast, I took it upon myself to figure out a way to make it tastier and juicier. I did an experiment to figure out a way to make it juicier and tastier. So we started out with 24 potato plants and randomly assigned them to 3 groups, all with 8 plants in them. The first group had no fertilizer, the second group had half a dose, and the third group had a full dose of fertilizer. And then at the end, we compared how juicy and tasty they were.
Can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
They sent me, Gloria Jenkins, down for a little taste test. I was nervous, but excited.
Here we have 3 cups set up for you. One is full of the juice of our original, full-on pomade. A second is the juice from the pomado grown with Frederica Huffleberg, fertilizer enthusiast, famous fertilizer. And one is the juice of a pomado grown with a full dose of fertilizer.
All right. Can I try it now?
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, here it goes. That must be the original.
Yeah, you got it!
Okay. Okay, It's the aftertaste. The aftertaste is what gets you. This must be the half dose.
Yes, you figured it out. They are in order. Awesome.
All right. I'm expecting something great. Okay. All right. It tastes like tomato and potato juiced out in a cup.
Well, we're sending you home with 1 gallon free of charge.
Put it on your pasta.
Thanks.
Actually, can you pay for it? No one's buying them.
If the viewers at home are interested in buying a gallon of pomado juice, go to www.pomadoplease.gov. Alright, ready? Go ahead. Jess, you start.
That was terrible improv.
I have no idea. I created this game. This game is flawless, okay? I don't know how she won all that.
I hate being carny.
No.
Okay, can we restart? Okay, let's.
No matter what you eat for breakfast, a well-balanced.
Yeah, no, you go. It's fine. Yeah.
The Titanic was underwater, leaving over 1,500 passengers and crew on board to meet their icy fate. Here's 1,500 passengers and crew on board to meet their icy fate. Here's
I don't want to do like this. Can we do like a whole?
Nah, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
We already filmed Kristen Davis, so now.
Okay. So did I just do it right now?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
I can't do it in this kind of situation. I can't do it. I'm sorry to be difficult.
Sorry.
Okay.
Come on. This is a professional interview.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Thank you, Kristen, for being on our show. It must be so hard for you to relive. I can't do it.
No, that was fine. That was fine.
Can we go in a different room?
Potato, potato. Tomato, tomato. Why not both?
That's what the researchers at the Ginkgo biloba Research Center found out. In a surprising... Well, that's exactly what the researchers at the Ginkgo biloba Research Center...
It was biloba. One morning we woke up and the tomato... Let me do that one.
So tell me a little bit about what you did.
Well, when I tried my first table trick, as a manure enthusiast, I took it upon myself to figure out a way to make it tastier and juicier. And when I wait.
No, that was alright. Okay, so ready, and then just slide it as I slide the camera. Ready, go. A little faster.
No, just take the sound out.
Yeah, you can try. Can I just need a shot of shit?
One is the result of Frederica Huffleberg, fertilizer
Yeah. Ready, go.